Ukraine's strike that shattered Putin's energy empire. In the early hours of October 19th, a thunder echoed across southern Russia. What Moscow first called a technical fire was, in reality, one of Ukraine's most strategic strikes of the war, deep inside Russian territory, nearly 1,500 kilometers from the front line. The target? Russia's massive Orenburg gas processing complex, the heart of an invisible energy bridge connecting Moscow and Kazakhstan. But this wasn't just an attack on infrastructure. It was a geopolitical trap, carefully set to fracture Putin's alliance with Central Asia, and it worked. Tonight, we uncover how one precision drone strike didn't just cause flames in the steppe. It ignited panic in Moscow, confusion in Astana, and shockwaves across Eurasia's energy map. This is the Orenburg strike. To understand why this single attack matters, we need to go back to what Orenburg really is. It's not just another gas plant. The Orenburg gas processing facility is the only hub capable of refining natural gas coming from Kazakhstan's Karachaganak field, one of the largest in the world. Since Soviet times, the pipeline connecting Karachaganak to Orenburg has symbolized Eurasian energy unity, Russia and Kazakhstan working hand in hand. But that unity always came at a price. Russia controlled the refining, pricing, and export of Kazakh gas. For decades, Moscow kept Astana dependent, turning energy into political leverage. And as Europe cut itself off from Russian gas after 2022, Putin turned to Kazakhstan and Central Asia to sustain his energy superpower image. But Ukraine's new long-range drone program just shattered that illusion. According to local sources, at 2:47 a.m. Moscow time, multiple Ukrainian drones crossed deep into Russian airspace. Their flight path avoided air defense zones, approaching Orenburg from the sparsely monitored southern corridor. Witnesses captured explosions lighting up the night sky near the gas complex. By morning, Russia's Ministry of Emergency Situations called it a fire incident. But satellite data revealed the truth. Several key processing towers and compressor units were knocked offline. In response, Gazprom was forced to manually shut down the gas inflow from Kazakhstan, effectively severing the main artery between the two nations' energy networks. That's the brilliance of Ukraine's strategy. They didn't just hit Russian soil, they made Russia cut itself off. This wasn't just a military success, it was a geopolitical checkmate. Ukraine knew that by hitting Orenburg, Russia would have to choose: keep the plant running under risk, or shut down gas from Kazakhstan to prevent a chain explosion. Putin chose to close the valve, and in doing so, undermined his own allies' economy. Kazakhstan's energy exports instantly dropped. Traders reported emergency redirections toward China, but infrastructure limits made it impossible to fully compensate. Within 48 hours, Kazakh gas prices spiked, and energy ministers scrambled to reassure the public. Behind closed doors, officials in Astana were furious. Once again, Russia's war had spilled across borders, this time not with tanks, but with pipelines. Inside Russia, the damage was far worse than Kremlin media admitted. The Orenburg facility, already operating under pressure due to aging Soviet infrastructure, represented nearly 15% of Russia's gas processing capacity. Combined with Ukraine's earlier strikes on refineries in Ryazan, Tuapse, and Volgograd, over 40% of Russia's refining sector is now impaired. Gazprom's debt has ballooned to over $60 billion, and the company's profits have fallen to a 30-year low. Now, add a destroyed processing hub, and you get the real picture: an energy giant bleeding from within. Moscow's response? Silence. State media quickly deleted footage, calling it industrial maintenance. But satellite imagery and eyewitness reports tell a very different story, one of panic, isolation, and denial. For Kazakhstan, this was a wake-up call. A reminder that dependence on Russian infrastructure is a geopolitical trap. Officials have already begun discussing alternate export routes,
through the Caspian Sea to Azerbaijan and onward to Europe, bypassing Russia entirely. That's exactly what Ukraine and its Western partners hoped for. Every drone strike, every explosion on Russian soil now carries a strategic echo far beyond the battlefield. It tells Eurasia, Russia is no longer a reliable energy partner. So when you see those flames rising from Orenburg, remember this wasn't just a fire, it was a message. A signal that Ukraine's war is no longer fought only with drones and missiles, but with pressure, dependency, and alliances. By forcing Putin to turn off Kazakhstan's gas with his own hands, Ukraine has proven that in this new era of warfare, the sharpest weapons aren't always made of steel. They're made of strategy. This was PPR Global Style Analysis, revealing how one silent strike reshaped the map of Eurasian power. If you found this breakdown insightful, don't forget to subscribe for more deep geopolitical intelligence, because in this war, every explosion tells a bigger story. In a few minutes I will post recent news video, so subscribe.